Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan from NBC Sports Bay Area. It is Monday. I'm not going to head in the facility today. I know all the players are going to probably talk about DeAndre Campbell, but I think at this point it's beating a dead horse. I think the 49ers are going to suspend him without pay for the rest of the season, eliminating the possibility that he can sign with another team and, maybe be added to a playoff caliber team. I can't imagine that any other team would want to sign him at this point because he actually quit on the 49ers. Anyways, all right, let's move on. Looking ahead to the 49ers future, though, we just spoke on our 49ers Talk podcast about what the future holds for Brock Purdy and why he could demand 55, $60 million a year. Now, I know he has not had a great season this year. Last year, though, really remarkable season. I mean, when you think about it, he set a ton of records, including, you know, his completion rate, so many different stats. Here we go. In 2023, he led the league with 9.6 yards per attempt, 13.9 yards per catch, and 113 rating in 2023, and so many other categories. This year, he has a 65% completion rating, which ranks him 17th in the league, which is still not bad. I mean, but he's over players like Dak Prescott from the Cowboys, Russell Wilson, who plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has a 64.7 rating. Justin Herbert also paid a lot, 63.9% completion rate. Green Bay Packers Jordan Love, 63.7% completion rate. Dak Prescott was 64.7. So honestly, the 49ers have to pay Brock Purdy. They need to pay him a lot because you look at where he stands, even in a challenged year like this year, he still has performed really well. Also, maybe the most important stat is his playoff wins. Now, there are 9 quarterbacks in the league that make over $50 million, $50 million or more per season. Brock Purdy, his playoff record is better than 7 of them. So he has a better playoff record than Dak Prescott, who's got a 2-5 playoff record. Jordan Love, 1-1 playoff record. Trevor Lawrence, 1-1 playoff record. Tua Tagovailoa, 1 loss, 0-1. Same thing with Justin Herbert, 0-1 playoff record. Lamar Jackson, 2-4 playoff record. Yes, I realize he's been the MVP and he is an unbelievable player, but his playoff record is 2-4. He makes $52 million per year. Eagles, Jalen Hurts makes $51 million a year. His playoff record is 2-3. One of those wins was with a one-armed Purdy. So you look at Brock Purdy, he's got a 4-2 record in the playoffs. One of those was when he only had one arm in Philadelphia. So I just don't see how the 49ers cannot pay him $50 million or more. And the going rate, I don't know if that he'll necessarily make 60. Dak Prescott is the only one who makes $60 million or more, or $60 million. Everybody else, the other 9 make 50 and between 60. What's shocking is that Patrick Mahomes, who's 15-3 in the playoffs, has a $45 million per year contract. Josh Allen, who's got a 5-5 record in the playoffs, makes $43 million a year. So Joe Burrow and Jared Goff are the only 2 quarterbacks in that 50 million club that have a better playoff or equal playoff record to Brock Purdy. I mean, Joe Burrow has a 5-2 record. He makes $50 million, above $50 million. I don't have the average salary here. Let me look it up. But Jared Goff also 4-4 record. So let's see here. Sorry. All right. So Jalen Hurts, 51. Here it is. Joe Burrow, $55 million a year. He does have a better playoff record than Brock Purdy. And Jared Goff, $53 million a year, and he's got a 4-4 record. So, I mean, if you look at comparably how Brock Purdy has played, he's going to get a big contract. And he's also been there for 3 years. So you look at the history of the 49ers front office. So Brock Purdy's representation, they also have the 49ers history in their back pocket. Not only is it playoff record, but their history. Jimmy Garoppolo only played 6 games, 5 as a starter, before the 49ers gave him a huge 5-year, $137 million contract, which was the top in the league for about 5 minutes. Someone else got a contract after that. But at the time, Jimmy Garoppolo got the highest quarterback salary, highest salary in the NFL for the time, and that was in 2017, or 2018 offseason, after only 5 starts with the 49ers. So Brock Purdy's representation can say, hey, you only had Jimmy Garoppolo for 6 games, 5 starts, and you awarded him a giant contract. This is really important, not only for Brock Purdy and the organization to get it settled quickly, because it is the right thing to do, but also because you don't want to have a guy holding out during OTAs or training camp. And it also says what the 49ers think about Brock Purdy. He has been the lowest paid quarterback in the league for his entire 3 seasons, lowest starting paid quarterback. So looking at what he has missed out on and what he should get paid, I mean, there is some kind of, compensation there. He should be getting paid kind of retro pay for what he has been paid in the past. So I just think that the 49ers do work out a huge deal for Brock Purdy. He is a guy that is someone that understands Kyle Shanahan, understands the game of football, can read defenses, can take the 49ers offense back to the playoffs again. This year was kind of a funky year. You had holdouts by Trent Williams, you had hold-ins by Brandon Ayuk. Christian McCaffrey set out holding out for a better deal. So you had all of that, not to mention the shooting of Ricky Pearsall, Trent Williams' tragic loss, Charvarius Ward's tragic loss, both of those two of their children. So it was, like, as Charvarius Ward said, kind of a black cloud over the 49ers this season. So I would think going forward, they want to start with get their first step forward in the right direction for 2025. And that would be making sure Brock Purdy is signed for a long-term deal. So that's my opinion. What I think will happen in the future, they can start negotiating the day the 49ers season is over. So that is after the 49ers Cardinals game is what I'm assuming, because I doubt they're going to make it in the playoffs. I think they have like a 1% chance. There needs to be a miracle for them to make the playoffs, and I just don't think it'll happen. I'm pretty sure most of you don't think so either, but they still, like, on the charts and everything, they are in the hunt. There is a tiny, tiny chance that they make the playoffs. But honestly, it's time to start looking forward to 2025, and that would be including signing Brock Purdy to a long-term deal. So that's what I think will happen. All right. That is it for now. I will give you more updates when I see what has happened from the Monday locker room availability. I just needed a little extra day off, but I'm still doing an update for you guys. All right. I did post a story on the quarterbacks and their salaries and what their records are and why Brock Purdy deserves to get paid. All right. So check that out at NBCSportsBayArea.com, and I'll give you more updates as we go along this week. We're going to do 49ers Now Wednesday and Thursday, and then not next week because of the holiday. All right. Talk to you guys soon.